You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to our Facebook page and get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. I want to talk about the Saints and Bucks. That's probably going to be the game of the week. Now, looking at this game, even on paper, I don't know who's going to win this game. My mind is saying Tampa. You know, the Saints got the best of Tampa in game one. Teams were rusty. They didn't have a preseason. Tom Brady in his first game with his new team, trying to learn pieces. So the Saints got one. And when it comes to division games, I don't tend to go by the script when it comes to division games because anything can happen. You know, when you look at it, Tom Brady has Mike Evans. They have Chris Goodwin. They have Rob Gronkowski. Now you're throwing Antonio Brown into the mix of guys Tom Brady has to throw to. Brady is off to one of his best starts in a while. 20 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions. A QBR of 103. So now you give him an added weapon with Antonio Brown. That offense, you know, even though the ground game has kind of been slow the past 2 weeks, that offense is going to be hard to stop. Now, opposing quarterbacks have a 108 QBR rating against the Saints defense. The Saints are 28th in the league as far as QBR ratings. So quarterbacks tend to have a good day against the Saints defense if you can throw the ball. As I said last week, Nick Foles didn't have that bad of a game. The problem was he was under duress the entire game. He was under pressure. The Saints, they're allowing 237 yards passing per game. But on the flip side, they're third in the league in rushing yards allowed per game. But on the flip side of that, Tampa is number one in rushing yards allowed per game. So they have a better defensive run-stopping game than New Orleans. Also, don't forget, Tampa is number one in interceptions in the league with 11. The defense is second in sacks with 28. And they're fourth with 61 QB hits. Now, to counter that, the Saints O-line, they've only allowed 9 sacks this year, which is second in the league. And the Saints defense, they had, like I just mentioned before, with Nick Foles, they had 5 sacks last week against the Bears. And they had 3 on Brady in the first meeting. But my money is on Tom and the Bucks. I mean, the defense is playing lights out. Carlton Davis is a defensive back stud. And I just don't know how, if Tampa's defense gets going. Now, Breeze is one of the best at getting the ball out. But if they can fluster him just a little bit, it's all Tampa. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say Tampa gets the win because the game is going to be played in Tampa. That's the only reason. Because division games can go anyway. When you have division rivals playing against each other, it can go anyway. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay because they are the home team. All right, so that's all I got for you, folks. That is it. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page. Get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You can listen to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.